So great to have you on, Coach Cavin Johnson, somebody who's played a massive part in my career. The first time ever coach on the channel. I obviously played for you at Amazulu and Supersport. You took me to Supersport, and I found you at Amazulu. Yeah, we shared some incredible memories together. So I'm looking forward to catching up. Thank you for joining
No,
me, Coach.
Michael, Martin, thank you for having me. And if I'm the first coach on your channel, then I am honored.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach. I want to take you back right to the beginning where it all started. Um, your playing days. Where did you play your football? Where did the passion for football come from? How did you get into football in the beginning?
True, Mike. Passion same like yours, huh? Ever since I was probably 7 years old, playing football in the streets, and then moving to Western, playing for the local teams there, and kept on playing in the so-called Bosman Football Association for a while, and then in the end, probably not because of injury or anything like that. I played a little bit for a team that probably played in the the inauguration of SACOS and the NSL, which was called the NPSL. Then I think played a little bit for a team called Bosman Chelsea, but not long. And then because of my background as far as politics and things like that was concerned, having the passion for football after working for a while when you've done your schooling and things like that, I decided to go into coaching. And coaching started with, if you remember, the Celtic Scouts League. That was like the DDC now. Yeah, I started coaching in those that team, and from there coached a little bit in the Bosman League as well. Coached a few teams, but then you know the bug really caught us, and we started going to Orlando with Ted Dumitru. You heard about the Chibuku Center. And after that, we opened up the School of Excellence. And then I got a break to go to Ajax Cape Town. And from Ajax Cape Town, went to, was it Platinum Stars? No, we went to Sundowns. I went to Sundowns, became the head of youth, and then also won the league with Sundowns, with Gordon. And then from there, we went to Platinum Stars, myself and Miguel Gamondi. From Platinum Stars, we went to Supersport. That's where we met. Supersport, we went back to Platinum Stars. Platinum Stars, we went to Amazulu.
And then you went to Black Leopards from Amazulu.
Oh, yes, we don't forget Black Leopards for a very long time, 2.5 weeks. And then from there, we relaxed a little bit and we went to Ahly with Pizza Musman. He came back, uh, took a bit of a break again, and went to Kaizer Chiefs for not supposed to be for so long, but it lasted for just on, I think, 6 or 7 months. And now we're back again, looking for something to do as far as either development is concerned or maybe a first team or somewhere up Africa. We'll see.
Coach, but you always had a passion for youth development. I think that's where it all started for you, and you spent a majority of your coaching career working with youngsters. Why that part of coaching did you enjoy really working with the young kids and unearthing some of South Africa's best talents? Because I think some of South Africa's best footballers came through your hands.
Thanks for the kind words, Mike. It's always good to know that you know that. But I think it's because when we when I started coaching, it was youngsters. They were 18 and 19-year-old kids in the Celtic Scouts League, and even then, I had some good youngsters. If you remember, there was a kid that played for Kaizer Chiefs by the name of Gerard Moody, and that was the first professional player that went that came through us that went to play for Chiefs. He played for Chiefs as a left back. But carrying on from there, it was always uh, because we were a group of people, myself, Simon Bata, Farouk Khan, Zunaid Mal, Ted, Michael Mtombela, we'd always sit around, and because football was at one stage in South Africa, which was the senior guys that the people were watching and people were raving about, but there was nothing being done for the younger players, and that way, all our education, all our research was done on what do we do in South Africa for the next generation. Which, if you remember, also there was a time when it was coming closer and closer, whereby democracy was going to be apartheid was going to be done away with, and all these players that were playing in the street had to go somewhere. And we studied it. We studied a lot on what the Brazilians were doing, what the Dutch was doing. I was very lucky in that we did a lot of courses in Brazil. We actually went to Brazil. I spent maybe 3 to 4 months in Brazil, studying there through probably some of the best football coaches like Zico, like Zagallo, like Pereira. Those were our teachers. You know what I'm saying? And then there was one gentleman called Neto, Espes Neto. Farouk talks a lot about him, and he was probably one of he was the head of the Brazilian Football Academy. And through him, we were able to meet all these people and discuss with all these people. And because of South Africa's unique diversity as far as culture is concerned, as far as people are concerned, the Brazilians are very, 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 we always say they're close to us, but they're very, very close to us, especially uh, some of the players from Durban, some of the players from PE, because of the I think it's because of the whole situation, the beaches, the the weather, you know what I'm saying, and how they used their facility without having great facilities, how they used that God-given facility, which is the beach, to their advantage, and how they made themselves stronger, how they kept themselves technically better than a lot of countries in the world, and how they also won
Yeah,
three
and they
World
also
Cups.
obviously come from the favelas and everything, which is similar to the background
Oh,
a lot of our guys
yes,
come through as well.
that exactly, and through that we 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 taught ourselves, because remember when we were doing those things, and we would discussing those things, there was nothing. There was no coaching courses. We had to do our own search and go and do our own. We started the Transnet schools, the Transnet what they call them clinics with Neil Tovey, and then we decided, hey, just Tovey's arm, because Tovey used to work for Transnet. We said, Tovey, see if they can open up a school. And when they opened up the school, that is where we actually tested all our knowledge that we tried to get together, and we could test it in in a shell that only we knew we were, not we knew what we were doing. We tried to do scenarios, the Brazilians and the Dutch, and also the Dutch because of the influence of Johan Cruyff, Rinus Michels, and all those great coaches that came out there, and also the makeup of the with the Surinams that are Dutch. It's a Dutch in Africa. So all that came about, and the teachings came about there, and within the school, we started doing all these things, but in our own way, not copying. And that is why, from the school's perspective, when you look at what we developed there, out of, I think the first crop of players was about 38 players or 40 players. Out of that crop of players, 37 of them played professional football, Mike. And that is, you're talking about the likes of Dylan Shepherd, Brett Evans, Stephen Pinard, Sean Potgieter, Dominic Isaacs, Jeffrey Ntuka, Boy Masia. Who else came out of there? I can't even remember them. Yes, a lot of them played for Supersport. Rufus Makoti, you probably played with him as well. But he was there before your time.
Where did you find all of these guys when you first started the school? Where did you find all of these talented
No,
players? How did you fill up
that was
the
that was
school with
that
all
was
these players?
the nice part about it, because Transnet. Remember, we were on our own, and Neil Tovey was the manager of this whole thing. And what we had put together then was, we went around to all 9 provinces, and we got in touch with the so-called big guys of the NSL. You know what I'm saying? And we would ask them to bring their best under 13s, their best under 15s, their best under 17s into one space, and we would then pick the best players out of there. And maybe we would pick a crop of maybe 10, 15 players, and then bust them down to Johannesburg, where we'd put them through a further trial with the other provinces mixed. And out of that, we then made the selection for the School of Excellence. And yeah, when you remember and you think about it, we had, from the start, we tried to incorporate all 9 provinces into the school, whether we had one, whether we had two, whether we had three, whether we had five. It didn't matter, but we tried to get them all together. And what we did was, we set up our own schooling. We hired school teachers, we hired uh, principals, and then what we did was, we controlled the timing of training. Typical example would be that we'd let them have breakfast, then go to school, and they'd break for school at 10 o'clock. They'd go for training, come back, they'd have lunch, they'd go back to school, they'd break at about 3, half past 3, which was normal, and then they'd come to training again. So we could actually manipulate the schooling day, and not make it like a normal school you go to, like, 8 to 2, and then you come back home and then you go to training. No, we try to have them as much as possible on the field of play, and then of course 6 to 8 they would go to school again, and then they go to bed. So we were able to manipulate the whole day. And then of course, closer to exams, or closer to so-called exams, we would cut the training, so they could concentrate more on the school. And then once they finish the school, or once they finish with the exams, now we put more emphasis on the training again, and they go back to two 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 sessions a day, with a game over the weekend against either bigger opposition, or, but we never ever wanted to play in a league.
Yeah, you were never in the leagues.
No,
Yeah, School of Excellence was never in the Safa League or the Rand Central League or
no,
any
we
of
were
those
never
leagues.
there at the time when I was there. They are there now, but we were never there at that time. Why? Because we would just beat the teams all the time. You know what I'm saying? If we had to play, and it wasn't good
It
for
was
us,
too
so we had
easy.
to play ages higher, and that was the big thing. But the nice thing about having that as well was the fact that, because South Africa was coming into the new democracy and things like that, a lot of countries And I say this in all respect because we were the only ones. A lot of countries were sending sport invitations to SAFA. And if you remember, then SAFA was run by Sticks. Sticks Moreira was the boss, and he was an ardent supporter of the school. And when that happened, we were on the bus all the time. So the boys, even at a young age, we were introducing them to international football. We were playing tournaments in Holland, in South America, in where else? In Japan. Where else did we go? They went to America 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So the 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 the, the snowball was that all the time. It had a snowball effect. For example, the one tournament in America, we were invited there. I think 4 or 5 years in a row, and it would run in December. So over the Christmas period, we would be in America. The one team of the school will always be in America. It was part of our our, our yearly program, and there was one there was one that we went to in Holland as well, which was also ongoing, and there was one in South America as well, Takauchi Academy, that we would go there all the time, and this prepared the boys a lot, mentally, physically, uh, emotionally. You understand what I'm saying? Because we will make sure that during those times we're able to teach them a lot that you don't normally get from a football team, like the
Yeah.
mentality of.
And now, when you look at it now, coach, I mean, I don't know when last were you back at the School of Excellence, because I've seen some photos and some videos of what the school looks like now. When I spoke to Dane recently, he also told me that only one field at the moment is in a condition where they can use it. They say this, yeah, it's just not in a great state now.
You know, the last time
I
I
don't know when last you were there. Or...
the last time I was there was I went for a memorial service for James Mabena, and not in a good shape. Not in a good shape. I don't think that is what we we envisaged. We saw it in the future to be our our Lily Shaw. Is it Lily Shaw in England? And the one in Spain is called Clairefontaine or something like that.
Yeah, in France,
In
yeah,
France, yeah.
the
And the one
Clairefontaine
in
in
Spain, I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's La Masia in France, right?
La Masia,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We wanted it to look like that all the time. So we can have players from the whole of South Africa into a proper space and have that type of look was for the future. We had that look, Mike. If I say we had that look, then you have to look at pictures going back. If you ask Dane Clayt what Estlin Park looked like, that is what the school had to stay looking like. There we had I think we had 4 or 5 fields. We had a cricket pitch, we had a swimming pool, we had a gym, and the rooms were excellent, par excellent. Honestly, they were beautiful. The school was magnificent, and that is also one of the reasons why, at that time when we were at Estlin Park, it was thriving like that. And then when we moved to the new place, yes, we kept it going because that was our model. But as soon as we left, and yeah, it was run by other people, it didn't maintain the standard. I doubt it if it maintains the standard, even though they still have 1 or 2 players coming out now and then. Like the current boy from Orlando Pirates. He's from the School of Excellence. The what's his name? Mafukeng. He's from the School of Excellence, and you have the boy that plays now at TS Galaxy, Puso. He's also from the School of Excellence. So there are one or two.
Okay, so they're still producing
They
players.
they
Yeah.
coming out, but not as much as they came out when we were there.
This is a question that a lot of people, like now being a parent, where people come up to me and say, "Hey, Mike, like my son's very talented footballer. Where do I send him? What should he do to become a professional footballer? And a lot of the time, I actually don't have answers for them because I don't even know what structures exist in our country anymore and what's the best avenue for a young footballer to come through. I don't know if you have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I have it all the time, Mike. I think I think our main teams, our PSL teams, are not paying enough attention to that area because there's still too many players that make it at 20. And when you look at him, where have you been playing football? No, I've been playing for some team in Ulundi or some kind of team in Kailicha. But where have you been? What have you? No, I've just been playing there. And somebody spots them randomly. There's no spotting going around, or there's no real greediness for the raw talent that South Africa still has, and put into a institution that can really develop them. And I think our PSL teams, uh, we don't pay enough attention to the holistic development of our young players. I think that, yeah,
Yeah.
I might
If
say
I had to
our
put you on the spot, coach, and I had to say to you now, you've got a 10-year-old boy. Like, what would you tell the boy to do? Where would he go? What's the avenue for him to become a professional footballer?
look. The nice part is that there are some. I think Ajax Cape Town still does the same program because they are getting there's some
Yeah, Cape
youngsters
Town
coming
Spurs. Yeah,
through.
they're still trying. Yeah, there's still, but obviously with being in the NFD now, it's
It's
also
difficult.
budgets
It's difficult.
difficult. Like,
But
yeah.
I don't think we yes we use the word the budget and things like that. But yeah, the corporates must be able to put their money in certain programs. I think Cape Town City. I'm not sure how their young program works, but I do know, like for example, now I would recommend Supersport. Supersport is probably the team that's developing the most. They're producing the most young players who's coming through, and then the next in line is probably Stellenbosch. You get what I'm saying? But then you have an up and coming, or not an up and coming, but you have a Stars of Africa who's really doing well. I've just been at yes, Farouk's academy. I think he's going to do very well. He's just opened up uh, uh, his new sleeping quarters and schooling quarters and things like that, and really looks world class. And Farouk will he'll just rise from now on.
No, it's nice to know because it's worrying. Like sometimes when people ask me, I actually don't know where to send kids. I mean, there's obviously these Brazilian schools and the super sports soccer schools tried for a while, but yeah, I don't know the greatest avenue that a young kid can take to
Yeah,
if they
look,
want
I
to
mean,
become
it depends on which province you are also in. For example, you got if you're in Durban, very difficult to say anybody in Durban. I don't know what Amazulu structures are like. I don't know what the Richards Bay structures are like. I don't know what Golden Arrow structures are like. But I do know, like for example, in Durban, you have Delron Buckley, who's trying to start a good academy. You also have the other one that they call the KZN Academy. But I do know from reading that Bucks is doing something good in Durban. But the people have to pay for that. You're looking for an academy that is self. But then again, you know what happens
yeah,
is
you don't have access to all the best players
yes, you don't
if
have
you're
access to all
expecting
the best
parents to
players.
pay for the yeah.
So that's the thing. In Cape Town, like you say, you in Cape Town, probably Ajax, Cape Town Spurs have got something going. They're not as powerful as they used to be. When I was there, Ajax Cape Town Spurs was really powerful. They had a player in every PSL team, which shows you how good they were. You know what I'm saying? We produced real nice players. When you look at, you played with them, Keegan Buchanan, Clayton Daniels, Nazir Ali, uh, Tulani Serrero. those were players that they
Tyson was there.
Tyson was there,
Shamir.
Shamir, uh,
Yeah, there's
what's
like
his
too
name?
many to mention. Scotty.
Scotty. Those are all very, very, very good players. Travis Graham. They come from there. I remember Travis and him being one of the last crop of players that I picked to play for Cape Town Spurs, Ajax at the time, and they all came through. There was a lot of them that came through. Jason Marul played for you with you as well. This is Jason. Gareth, Jared Marul. Yeah,
Jared. Yeah.
he's also one of them, huh? So they don't have that dominance in Cape Town anymore. I mean, when I
Yeah,
was in
no, it's
Cape,
tough now. I mean, obviously with Cape Town City, they and Stellenbosch now, especially when we're in the NFD, there's a bigger pool, definitely the magnet to the PSL teams. So I think with the MDC now as well, is that it's such a nice avenue for youngsters that we never had when we were like breaking through. That these 20-year-olds can now play on TV, and a lot of them are getting scouted for other clubs just from playing MDC.
yeah, but I don't think it's. I don't think that particular. My personal opinion, I don't think the DDC is a good advert for football.
I really don't like it.
No, it's there.
There's a lot of dancing on the ball and stuff that I
Exactly,
see.
exactly. There's no proper direction for me in that particular league. And Mike, there's some of those kids that have been more on TV than you, playing for 15 years in, in
No,
football.
100%.
They've been on TV for more than
Yeah,
you.
I look at that and I'm thinking you as a youngster you're probably better off playing in the DDC than you are playing in the NFD, which is worrying because you're going to be more noticed there. And yeah, I think like a lot of the guys are getting big profiles and big statuses just from playing in the DDC and the NFD. Literally, you can have the best season of your life and no one even knows you exist.
Yes, that is because uh, the scouts of the world nowadays don't use their eyes; they watch the television. And I always think that the
Yeah,
television doesn't give you a true reflection of what a player does on the pitch. There's there's
yeah,
there's like 5 seconds in between you and the ball that is you can't catch on television. You understand what I'm
yeah.
saying? So when you watch and you
Yeah,
see,
like a holding midfield. If you had to just if I had to wait for people to watch me on TV and what I did on TV, then everyone would think I do nothing.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So for me, I just think it's a big game show, and the kids should respect to be on television and to play in front of people is a privilege. And by the time you get there, you must have something or someone has seen something in you in order to put you there. But just to put you there, and there's I read a lot of Instagram things from my children, and they always ask me, "Daddy, who's this? Who's that?" And I say, "I don't know." They write in such big stories about this play. It looks like he's better than Neymar. You understand what I'm saying? And for
Yeah, no,
me,
it is.
I
Yeah,
mean, the
they
new
did.
kid on
Yeah,
the block in the world is Jamal. But you never saw Jamal until he played for Barcelona's first team. You get what I'm saying? The same with William. You've never seen him on TV until you saw him in the Euros. So Jamal for me is 16 years old, but what 16-year-old do you see currently in the PSL that's as good as him? I don't think there's one team in
yeah.
the
Well, I
in the
don't think there's a
PSL that has a
16-year-old in the
16.
world that's as good as him.
Yes,
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? But is there, and now everybody's putting 16-year-olds in my face and saying he's better than Jamal. I tell you, you put him on the same pitch as Jamal, he'll be better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. For a kid at 16 years old, when I always look at Jamal, I look at,
you you obviously coached a lot of. I don't know if you attracted it or you seeked it, but you obviously had a lot of guys that you try to help in your career. Where you some troubled guys like Zongo and Chabangu and these guys and Jabupule. Um, what was it about? Was it you seeking these guys, or did they just find themselves in your trusted hands?
Yeah, from where we stand, from where we sit, Mike, the number one was probably Lerato. You know what I'm saying, at Sundowns. But then Lerato had other friends as well. But we tried to help him, and he knew he had the talent. I mean, as the big one for me was Zongo. Zongo had the world at his feet. And honestly speaking, when he was at Platinum Stars, I tried to help him. And one player, no, at Platinum Stars, it was simple. Zongo, let's play football. Let's stay away from the nightlife and try and do better. We tried our best. He probably played some of his best football under me or with me. But he had good players around him who always tried to help him as well. But Zongo was a man of his own. And yes, he was naughty when he was with me. But let me tell you, to train, he trained the best. He never complained, never got injured. And to play, he always gave his best. And even though he was a very good player who could read the game very well, he never gave me attitude when it came to sitting on the bench. A lot of those players will always give you a finger when he's not in the pitch. You understand what I'm saying? And Lerato, Zongo, who was the other one? Jabu Pule. They never gave me they never gave me problems when it came to that. And that just showed me that they can be very, very good players. And in all respect, yeah, Zongo was a great player. He was a really, really nice player. Someone who could turn the game for you in the African way. The same with Lerato, the same with Jabu. Jabu, it was about me getting him to super sport and giving him an opportunity to resurrect his career because everybody wrote him off and things like that. And yeah, we did it together, but there was a there was an ultimate goal with Shuffle. Shuffle was, Jabu, I give you 3 months. You train with me every day. I want to see what you do, and he did it. And yes, he didn't play many games. I think he played maybe 2 games or something like that for me. And then he said, Coach, I'm done. I said, you done? He said, yeah. But then he got the job as an analyst with Supersport. So I was happy that he was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he fixed his life up, or Supersport helped him to fix it up in that way. How he
Did
is now.
Lorato did Chabango always have these issues, or because I mean he had a very good career and he did it wasn't one of those guys who was always off the rails, but it feels like towards the end, and I've seen recent videos of him where he really doesn't look in a
Yeah.
good way.
Uh, I think Shabangu just took it a little bit too far. After winning the league with Gordon, being in the national team, being Leratu Shabangu as he was, and not having, you know, the minute that I, I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but I think it was when we had that team that won the league with Gordon, when we were there. Michael Manzini, Surprise Muriri, Torrealba, Benson, Oscar Ntachai. You know what I'm saying? That was a powerful, powerful team. And I think when some of those guys started going their own way, Shibangu stayed behind. You understand? He didn't move on. And it just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And there was nobody within that group that could help him. So yeah, I also saw current pictures of Lerato, and not good. I don't think he's able to maintain himself. Vuyo was also there. You know what I'm saying? Vuyo was naughty as well, but was able to maintain and able to look after himself in the end.
Coach, then I want to take you a little bit further forward into your career, where you eventually end up at Al Ahly. How did that happen? That sort of came out of the blue. You weren't coaching at the time, or you just left the Black
Yeah,
Leopards and things had gone a bit quiet. And then next thing I saw Cavin Johnson at Al Ahly, the African champions. How did that all happen?
yeah. You must remember, Kevin Johnson was the first person to beat Ahly in South Africa, with Platinum Stars. We beat them 2-1. And then they had the big players there. Abu Trekker, my Goma. They had a big team then. And we beat them 2-1 on Lucas Moripe Stadium. When Pizzo went to Ali, I think he was there for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. He gave me a call and he said, "Would you like to come to Ali?" And I think I knew what the team was all about before everybody. You know what I'm saying? African champions. They play in Europe all the time. They don't go around, and I knew the team's history. And I said, "It's no problem. I can come and join you." And that was luck on my side. And I went there, and we had a good 1.5. I had a good 2 years there. Very, very, very good. I learned a lot. We won 2 Champions League, beat Chiefs in one Champions League, and we beat Zamalek in the other Champions League. But along the way, there was also other trophies that we won. But what an experience to work with a different culture completely.
Yeah, can you speak a little bit about Al Ahly and what it was like when you first arrived there, the facilities, the infrastructure, the fans? Paint the picture of Al Ahly. Yeah.
The facilities is great, huh? One magnificent facility. We have one pitch that we train on, but they have a top class gym. They have a hydro whatever we call
Hydrotherapy
that.
and yeah.
Yeah, they have major doctors. They 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 treat their players like real professionals. And maybe fortunately, unfortunately, the the nightlife and I won't say the nightlife is nothing or there's no nightlife. There is. I won't say there's drinking. There is, but it's not as relevant as it is in our country. So those guys are very much about making money and being real top professionals. If you had the opportunity as an individual, Mike, you will enjoy yourself there because they work hard. They work very hard.
I also heard that most of the training sessions are in the evenings. Like you guys, it's normally like not daytime training sessions, like later in the evening, so you like relax during the day. That would be very different to South Africans, who obviously we always train early morning and then sometimes second session.
Yeah, for one, it is like that, Mike. For one reason is that because it's too hot in the day, especially in summer, it's too hot in the day. So you train like 7 o'clock in the evening, and you also play like 8 o'clock in the evening. So you never exposed to the heat, which is a nice thing. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Mike, if I say when I used to complain and say, this pitch is in good condition, the Egyptians will say this coach's pitch is not good. It's not good. Really. Because of what I was used to. You know what I'm saying? We in South Africa also don't respect the field that we should play on. We don't have that. I mean, you can attest to that in Cape Town. I mean, Athlone
They're
is
using
maybe
it for
for two games in the
at the
year.
moment they're using it for the under 20 rugby World Cup. So apparently it's in a really bad way at the moment. And yeah, I don't even want to look at the pitch right now, but apparently it's in a very bad way. They're using it for under
You
20
understand?
rugby World Cup.
And
Yeah.
we don't. That's the part. That's the other part is we haven't we have the country, we have the facility, we don't have the passion to separate the rugby from the football and make this a football pitch only and make this a rugby pitch only. If you understand what I'm saying, we like we've been brought up with this multi-purpose facility that we always attest to.
Yeah. But if
I
you're
mean,
to,
even
yeah,
the
what is it about Al Ahly that makes them so dominant on the African continent, where they every year in the Champions League they're in the semi-final or the final? I mean, are the players that much better, or is it mentality, or what is it that makes them dominate in Africa every year?
the history, Mike, and the players are that much more dominant in order to win the Champions League. Mike, when you and I think maybe Sundowns is putting something together like that. Uh, their history is never ever forgotten. And when I talk to, for example, the first week I was there, the number one goalkeeper now is Shuber, not El Shanawi anymore. It's Shuber. He's a youngster. I think he must be now 20 some odd. But when I got there, he was like 19. Michael, he was able to tell me the full team, 1981, that won the Champions League. He was able to tell me the full team. Uh, I tested Kaizer Chiefs players, the ones that play in the DDC. I said, "Do you know the team that Dr. Kumalo played for that won the league?" No, they didn't know. And that's the important. You understand what I'm saying? They understand the history, they understand the culture, and they understand why they play for Al Ali. And that is what I think we lose. For example, Cape Town Spurs. If you ask them from 2000 to 2005, ask those kids just a simple question: how many times did Cape Town Spurs win the Bay Hill? They wouldn't tell you during that time. I know because I was the boss then. They won it 4 times. Can you tell me who won it the first time for Cape Town Spurs as Ajax Cape Town? You understand what I'm saying? Just ask them. They'll have to look. Nathan Paulser, Ashley Opperman, if you remember them, Nazir Ali, Graham King. Those were the players that won it the first time. You understand? Now that history must be shown to the players all the time so they can know.
Yeah,
And
see,
that
I
is
think
what I
there's only a few clubs that really do that. I mean, when I look at Cape Town Spurs, at least there's a trophy cabinet there. There's when you walk down the halls, there's pictures of ex players, and they have a wall where there's boots all hung up of their former players, and they celebrate. There's still a Benny McCarthy shirt there and a Sean Bartlett
yes.
shirt, and I mean they still do that. But I mean, I'd say 90% of clubs, yeah, you don't. It's not really on display, and there's not really a base where they've really built their whole football culture around one place. Yeah, it's few and
But
far between.
but it's also in one moment, Mike, because the teams are changing names all the time. They've been sold on and off. You know what I'm saying? Like Kaizer Chiefs have got a good trophy cabinet. They got good pictures. They got, because they've got a history, 50 years. But you gotta thank the chairman for that. I think Pirates have the same thing. You gotta thank their chairmen for that. You get what I'm saying? But the rest of the teams, we don't know. They don't have homes. They don't have homes. Cape Town Spurs has a home, Ikamba. You know what I'm saying? They have a home. If they could, I'm sure they would have a stadium now by now, because I do know they tried to buy the stadium opposite Vasco. There's a pitch there where they play the rugby next to Vasco. I don't know what it's called.
It's like an athletics track where they do a lot of the athletic
The
stuff there.
athletics track. They
Yeah,
wanted to buy that once upon a time to turn it into a mini stadium, maybe 15, 20,000 seater. Even if it was only a 15,000 seater, they wanted to turn that into that and build that. Never got it done because, again, we concentrate on multi purpose stadiums to accommodate all the big noises, so they're out of our way. We don't want to accommodate someone who's going to build something for 10 years. I mean, for example, 4 years ago, 5 years, 4 years ago, when Wits sold their status, they should have never been allowed to sell their status. 100 years. You can throw 100 years just like that down the drain.
That's crazy.
You should
When
never,
I yeah,
never be allowed to do that.
I think like when my kids are eventually going to ask me like, who did I play for in my career? I'm going to list all the clubs I played for, and none of them are going to exist anymore. And be like, you're lying to me, Dad. Like, there's none of those clubs exist. You're talking nonsense. Like, there's
Are you
already
sure
like,
you played
yeah,
football?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, yeah, multiple clubs just being sold off all the time. I mean, already I think 2 or 3 clubs that I've played for don't exist anymore, and I'm still playing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
exactly.
Yeah, but that takes me then to obviously when I was at Amazulu and you arrived there. Amazulu obviously hadn't actually gotten promoted at that stage. They bought the status, and we arrived there as they just bought the status. And I don't actually think you get enough credit for keeping that team in the league, because I think, I don't know if you can say, but I remember thinking when I first arrived there that this club was really going to struggle in the PSL. It wasn't really ready to be in the PSL. I think that's a case with a lot of the time when these guys buy the statuses and don't necessarily understand the demands of the PSL.
Mike, you remember we were together at Amazulu. You remember the day they took 6 points from us. We were training when we found that out. and the chair.
Yeah, we celebrated like we'd won the league when we got into the
Yes,
top 8, and then a week later
we were there.
they said no, sorry,
We were there.
the six
I think we
points.
took it over
Yeah,
from Joe Antipas, and they were nowhere. And we were climbing. I think we were number 5, and we had played 7 games or 8 games already. 7 games. And then the chairman came there that morning and he was crying. I said, Mr. Chairman, what is wrong? You crying? And he said, they they knocked us 6 points. And I promised him, and in all emotionally, I promised him I'd save his team. And I brought the message back to you guys, and I said, guys, we have to do it. For this old man, we'll do everything. And I think we had a good season. I think we played good football. I think you played probably 32 games out of them all. I think you played them all. I'm not sure.
yeah. No, yeah, it was incredible. Like I don't, not enough people talk about, because I'd say 90% of our team had never played in the PSL before. Most of the boys that we got when we got there had never been exposed to PSL football. Guys like Sitebe and
Mabiliso.
Puto and those guys, they'd never played
And
in
when you
the
look at
PSL before,
Mabiliso,
and you took that team.
Mabiliso kept
Yeah,
Mark van Heerden out the team. If you remember, Mabiliso played 29 games. I think you played 30. You played 30. You played all the games. Hey, never came off.
I just when I got the red card
For
for
Mango, too.
the Mango incident, I got suspended. Yeah, those are the only games I
Two
missed.
games, huh?
Yeah, no, they gave me. Yeah, I got a red card, and then I went and got an extra game suspension or something. I
You
think I
got
was
an
out for
extra
three
red.
games. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you're out for 3 games or 2 games?
Yeah, I think it was 3 games. Yeah, because I went to the DC and they gave me an extra game.
for doing for doing absolutely nothing. But I thought we had a good team that year. Who was our striker? Was it?
Bong. It was Bongs and Tuli. Was it the
Oh
first season?
yes,
Yeah, Bongs, man, the late
yes.
Bongs.
It was Bonks. Yeah, it was Bonks. May his soul rest in peace, Bonks. Yeah, what a team we had.
Yeah, the one thing I'll never
Middle was
forget about
hanging,
Bongs is
and
like when you used to see him walking to training or walking after a game, you think there's no way this guy can play football. He used to walk with that limp and his knee was like
yeah,
swollen, and you'll be like, no, Bongs, like you, and he's like, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. You kick the ball down the channel and he runs
just
like
let me play.
Usain Bolt. Yeah, he was incredible there. What a guy.
Oh, we had a good team. I think besides having a good team, there was a good there was some good energy going onto the pitch. Sometimes we never trained well, but there was a lot of good energy on the pitch.
I think what you did well with that group is that we had Maputi. I think Maputi was a massive part of that group. Um, he kept, because obviously we had a whole bunch of different cultures, and Maputi was like the center man, and we had Bele Nomvete as well. But I think Maputi was the main guy who kept the spirit in that team and that
Oh yes,
massive
Mabuti was
personality.
playing as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He scored the goal against Cape Town, against Ajax Cape Town, in Cape Town. Remember the
Yeah,
night?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The equalizer in like the last minute.
Was it the equalizer or the
I
winning
can't
goal?
remember. Yeah, that was the last minute goal. I do
I brought
remember
him
that.
on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. From a
Hey,
corner or something. It was a set piece, and he scored.
yeah, I brought him on and he scored the goal.
Yeah. No, but he was so important for us because I think he's a leader in his own way, but even just the spirit and bringing the guys together, and he was so good with the youngsters as well. And you see that obviously now that he's gone into coaching as well. He always
Yeah,
had that
yeah,
in him.
yeah. Yeah, he's always had that in him. Yeah. Anyway, that
Yeah,
was.
then coach. Yeah,
But
before I wouldn't be able to let this go without speaking about your time at Kaizer Chiefs now. Um, how did you find that? You obviously went in as a what was supposed to be an academy role. You were supposed to take over the academy initially when you joined.
yeah, look, Mike, that's exactly what you say. I was supposed to take over the academy. I went there, worked for a month, and I got a summons to the chairman's office. I went to his office and he said, "Listen, I want you to take the first team." I said, "Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here for that. I never, ever, ever, ever came here to be the head coach. I came here to be the head of development in order for me to develop diamonds for the first team." He said, "Well, can you help?" I mean, not can you help me in those words. We said, "Please, man." I mean, it was the middle of the season, and because of the experience I've had with Amazulu and Platinum Stars when they were in similar positions, like Amazulu, you said, spoke about the 6 points. I said, yeah, maybe I can use that experience with Kaizer Chiefs. And in saying that, Mike, we went there, and I thought the period before Christmas we did very, very, very well, and a lot of experience, a lot of other experiences gained because of this team being such a big team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you coach this team, it's the only team that probably every game you have about 10, 10, 15,000 people supporting you. You understand what I'm saying? So the noise is is always there. It's like a professional team should be. It's not like when we played for Platinum Stars or you played for Super Sports. Sometimes there's only 500 people in the stadium and you can hear me talk the whole time. So I can coach you
Yeah,
the whole
if you're
time.
lucky.
But at
Yeah,
Kaizer
yeah,
Chiefs, it's not like that. You
sure.
have to have the personality. You have to have, you know what I'm saying? And to cut a long story short, I thought we had a good I thought we had a good season, or the period we had with me was good. It was good if you analyze it afterwards, and we can always analyze afterwards. I mean, when I look at possession wise, we were the third best possession team in the PSL last year. Can you believe that? When you look at the stats, we were the third best possession team. It was Sundowns, Pirates, Chiefs. Third best possession team. Did we win the games? No. We lost the games. We lost the games in critical moments. Last 4 or 5 minutes of the 45, in the 85th minute, you look at the examples I always use now is because it's easy to talk afterwards, is the derby. We lead the derby twice. 1-0, we don't manage it properly, they score 1-1. We win in 2-1, we don't manage it properly, they score 2-2. We in the 85th minute, we say, okay, 2-2, it's fine for a derby. 2-2, we're okay. Nobody wins, nobody loses. They score in the 87th minute. Through what? Through our mistake. We have a free kick. We take a quick free kick. Poof. They reply. They attack, they score, counter attack, goal. You understand? The other nice nice example I like to use as well. We have 8 clean sheets. Like 8 clean sheets is a lot of games. If we win 7 of those 8 clean sheets, we end up third on the log. You understand what I'm saying? We draw all of, so we only have 8 points. But if you win seven times 3 is 21 points. Add it to your tally now, we end up third. So in one moment, lessons learned, we did not manage the team properly. We did not manage the game properly as players, if I say that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're playing in front of 15,000 people. I cannot scream at you from the touchline on the other side of the pitch to tell you what to do. You've got to know how to manage the game, and you've got to see the timing of the game. You've got to know all those things as a player. If you understand me, you've played in big crowds before. I mean, the last game against Cape Town Spurs, you the last on the log, Mike. You beat us 2-1. 2-0, not 2-1. 2-0. You understand what I'm saying? And that stadium is full of people. You have to manage yourself correctly under the tactics that we try to do the whole week. Does that make sense?
But do you think that I mean, when I look at that Chiefs team, it obviously it's not the same as the Chiefs team of 5 years ago, 7 years ago, with a Kune, Shabalala, Parker, um, Nengo Masha. You're talking about like big characters, national team superstars. Like this current Chiefs crop is young.
That's
I mean, that's the team you inherited.
that's 9 years ago, Mike. That's 9 years ago. It's not, and you talk about a 6 month period. You cannot. I cannot say they're not good, they're not bad, because it took Alex Ferguson 5 years to develop a team that was able to win trophies. It took Pep Guardiola the better of 2 seasons.
But does this group have what it takes? Do they have the core of a good group that can become another dominant force in South Africa? Do you think there's enough there, or do
Look,
you?
Mike, I'm not going to put my head on the block for that. The question you ask, but I think it's up to a bigger set of people to know what they're doing in order to get that team to where it's supposed to be. Because where it is right now, it's not supposed to be there. But how you do it, when you do it, it's very important that you put those steps in places before you judge the player that's on the pitch and whether you think he can perform for you as an individual going forward. When you look at, I mean, I look at Sundowns, and I tell myself one of the best players they bought last year was that Brazilian player, Ribeiro.
He's a serious player. Wow, it's
But
good. Yeah.
hey, he's good. He's a serious player. And you look at Allende, he's a serious player. But Mike takes you back to what I spoke about earlier. Where do they come from? They come from South America. What are those people brought up with? They brought up with football, and they brought up with a heart. They brought up with, hey, the world is small. Go out there and make money and make a name for yourself. Don't go out there and just walk along the streets, because anybody can walk along the streets. Go out there and people must know that you played for Sundowns, or they must know you played for you come from there. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what you need to know when you put together a team that needs to play for Kaizer Chiefs, because even now, who emulates Dr. Kumalo in the current team? Who emulates Jabu Pule? Who emulates Tinashe Nongomasha. In your own mind, you can pick the players in the current team and say, maybe this player. You get what I'm saying? So those are, and that.
Yeah. When you look at that group, who are the standout guys for you? Who are the guys that you felt like have a
Current crop.
big future at Chiefs?
Look, it's got some young players in the team right now, and the
I like the centre back. I like the captain, the boy captain against us.
Given him Simango.
Given, I like him. I think I really like him. I think he's solid. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I like he's got a nice stature for a centre back as well. I think
he can stay at the team for a while. I like Bruce as well. Bruce Bavuma is a very good person, very good individual. I think he can take the team to another level. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's quite a few of them around. I'm not going to mention names because then I look like I had favorites, yeah. But you cannot have favorites in 6 months, Mike. And until you work with them for longer, and until you pick them longer out, and you have a lot more people working around them, then you can say, yeah, super sport. We had Michael Morton, we had Tusupala. You know what I'm saying? We had good players, but not good enough even at super sport. We had Ron Williams, but there were some areas where we lacked a little bit.
Coach, before you go, I want to ask you a couple quick fire questions. You can answer with just one word answers. If you want to expand on anything, you're welcome to do that. The best player you've ever coached?
Steven, Obi Miguel.
Was that at Ajax?
Miguel
he was at Ajax for a while. Yeah, wow.
He was at Ajax.
The best team you've coached?
Must be Platinum Stars.
Best group of players? Robert Ngambi and Vuyo Mere, Tusopala, that group. Yeah, good. The hardest manager to come up against tactically?
Ooh. The hardest?
Toughest manager to come up against tactically?
There's Gavin Hunt. There's Pizzo Mosimane. There was also in PSL Stuart Baxter.
Okay. Your favorite football manager in world football? The manager that you follow and pick up some stuff from?
Marcelo Bielsa. The madman.
The player with the best work ethic?
Michael Morton.
Thank you, coach. The most talented young player you've ever coached? Might not have made it, but someone that you saw that had a lot of talent as a young player.
Oh, there's so many. But the best one that's showing now is Kabumelo Khodisan. Gift Links.
I was actually going to ask you about him. Yeah. Good play. I always remember you telling me about him at Platinum Stars coming through. How good of a player is he going to be for Sundowns?
I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah. He's a winger. Eh? He's a out-and-out winger.
He's an out-and-out winger, but he can also play as 10.
Do you VAR in South Africa? Yes or no? Should we get VAR in South Africa or rather leave it?
No, yes, you have to get it. It's modern day football. You have to get it.
Yeah. Okay, coach. Last one. So this is winner stays on. I give you 2 managers. You got to choose one or the other. This is easy. Simeone versus Southgate.
Simeone.
Simeone versus De Zerbi.
Simeone.
Simeone versus Ancelotti.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti versus Zidane.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti versus Mourinho.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti versus Mancini.
No, Ancelotti.
Ancelotti versus Ten Hag.
Ancelotti. Yeah, Ancelotti.
Ancelotti versus Arteta.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti versus Bielsa.
Oh. Depend on what teams they have, because the madman can do something. Yeah.
So we'll say Bielsa. Bielsa versus Klopp.
Bielsa.
Bielsa versus Pep.
Pep.
Awesome. That's it.
Student has to be better than the
Yeah.
teacher.
Awesome. Coach, thank you so much for all your time. It's been so good to catch up. Yeah, I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you coaching again in any capacity. I think you have so much to give South African development, whether it be with academy or with kids again. I think we need your eye for talent somewhere in the South African game.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to be on your show, and hopefully people enjoyed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach, and we'll catch up soon.